We are thrilled to have on the Endless Hustle podcast today, All Elite Wrestling TNT Champion, Darby Allin. Darby, thanks for making the time, man.
Howdy.
Where are you right now? Where does this podcast find you?
This is at my house in Atlanta.
Oh, nice.
So this is where we film all the crazy shenanigans.
Your Instagram is absolutely wild, dude. A great follow. One of the top follows I have.
Yeah, no, it's good, man. Just with 13 acres, you find yourself doing a lot of weird stuff. So
Nice, man.
13 acres, Atlanta. You're like, shit, I better learn how to wrestle quick.
No, but yeah, it's good, man.
I want to start by kind of taking it all the way back here. Obviously, people see you now and your persona is super refined, even as a 27-year-old. But that kind of character had to be born from somewhere. Can you describe who you were kind of as a kid and in high school that informed your persona in wrestling?
Man, and as a kid, it was just really shy, I'd say. In high school, it was like kind of a loner. I would do a lot of crazy stuff because I was so bored with life and how everybody was living. I do a lot of crazy stuff to entertain myself in Seattle and stuff. And was willing to go places that no one else is willing to go. Sitting on my ass and being a generic 9-to-5 job was never in the cards for me.
So did you have a lot of friends in high school or what kind of guy were you there?
I had some friends for sure, but like I wasn't seeking anybody's approval and stuff like that. We would do these like crazy things where, for example, in Seattle, it like rains all the time. So we'd have to entertain ourselves. So we'd have this thing in my backyard, like a fighting league in my backyard where people would fight for money. But the catch would be, it'd be a ring of dog shit we'd collect around the neighborhood, and people would fight in dog shit for money. But stuff like that was like the highlight of my weeks growing up in high school. We would just be like, all right, shit fight, my house, Wednesday after school.
Did you charge for admission there?
No.
You had a real fight club of dog shit. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, no, it was fun though. It was lots of fun, and people would be slamming each other's face in it, and it'd be like, it was cool, dude. It was definitely something you'd remember forever. That's for sure.
You got to meet one of our favorite people, and he was just a guest on the pod, Mr. Tony Hawk. What was it like meeting Tony? Because we were geeking out just talking to him.
That was a trip because he just started following me on the Instagram, and I hit him up, and I was like, dude, my whole thing with wrestling is I want to connect the two worlds as much as possible. Because before me in wrestling, there was just so much fake ass people acting like they knew how to skateboard or it was part of their character and stuff. So I was like, man, I gotta make this legitimate. So I hit him up and, filmed some stuff with him, and it was crazy, man.
What's it like when you meet him for the first time? Because people don't understand. In terms of culture, there's no bigger icon from that world that made it into mainstream culture than Tony. When you meet him, like, what's kind of your reaction? Do you play cool, or are you like, fuck, this guy's I'm going to hug you, dude?
It was actually like normal. Like when I first met him, it was cool just because my dad's friend was friends with John Madden, and he would tell my dad's friend all the time over and over of how annoying it was to be treated totally different all the time and have ass kissers and all that stuff. So I was like, dude, I'm not gonna go up there and kiss Tony's ass or anything like that. So I was just like, dude, like, we're just skaters, man. At the end of the day, we're just skaters. And he's a sick ass person, super, like, one of the most humble guys, like, super nice dude, no ego. It was sick meeting him. It felt like somebody I've met 100 times before. So
yeah, even when we were talking to him, it was like, does this guy know he's like famous? Because he was just had that temperament where it was like, dude, you're like just shooting the shit with him. It was awesome.
Yeah, he's a man.
Yeah. We spoke with Booker T on the podcast, and he talked about when he first started out, he just got out of prison and he had a friend loan him money for wrestling school. I feel like, your story too, it's not uncommon in wrestling. When you're putting your body and health on the line in the smaller promotions and sleeping in your car and whatnot with no guarantee that you're going to make it out, was it a struggle to keep pushing?
No, man, because I'll be doing this shit even in my free time. It's like, no. Like, dude, I made a commitment with myself. I was like, I'd rather live under a bridge in my car than change who I am as a human being. Like, in the free time, I've been doing crazy shit my whole life growing up. So with or without, like, there was never, I was going to do it. Like, yeah, it wasn't a problem.
What's it like now? You're obviously the champion. You're the TNT champion. People know who you are. Your persona's only getting bigger. What's fame like as it's happening right now for you?
I don't know. It's cool. Like, I don't feel like I've changed at all. My friend from high school, he lives downstairs in my wrestling ring at my house, and I don't know, man. I'm still like the same dude. Just like I'm literally like the same dude. Just the same punk rock skater dude. Nothing's changed. Like, I don't feel like I have an ego or anything like that. I just want to go on more crazy adventures and do more crazy stuff that I can now.
You obviously are a laid back dude. When you have to go in character and bring out the promos and the one-liners and really just the bigger personality that you unwhip, like how much of you goes into that, or how much of it has to be like, I've got to become an actor and really just whip it out?
No, the good thing about it is I feel so natural out there as myself, because who I am in the ring is a lot of who I am in real life. But I feel like a caged animal all day in public. So all that I am in the ring is that animal let out of that cage. So it's really nice, and I really don't feel like I have to put on an act, because I feel so natural just doing what I'm doing, because I am a loner to the degree in real life still. Like, you'll never see me at an after party. You'll never see me, like, I have my own tight knit group that I do stuff with. I'm not still seeking validation from anybody.
I remember a couple of years ago, I found out that comedian Dane Cook had never had a sip of alcohol in his life, and it just blew me away. I had a similar reaction in finding out that you were straight edge, given your kind of extreme lifestyle. Do you ever get a sense that you're missing out on the perks of being a celebrity? Because I have to imagine that there have been temptations for you.
No, I do. Like, I'm the craziest motherfucker without alcohol. I don't need that shit to fucking get crazy. Like, I'll do stuff, man, but like what I do is I do it with my group, my squad, or I'll meet up with like Steve-O or people like that. You know, I don't need to hang out with people that just want to sit at home all day and watch Netflix. Like, life's too short, man. I gotta go out there and really hustle and go on adventures and stuff like that. I'm a very adventurous person. I can't sit down for long.
It's funny you mentioned Steve-O. I know Steve-O pretty well, and he is one crazy MFer, man. That guy is exactly what you see on the screen. What did those Jackass guys mean to you growing up? Like, what type of influence did they have on you?
Oh, man, they showed you that you could have a life with just straight up having fun and being dangerous. It was like such an eye-opening experience growing up watching that. I feel like that was way more impactful than any wrestler, if that makes sense. Like, watching a wrestler, Jackass was way more impactful. And, you know, I was like, dude, I got to get in that fourth movie.
You sure as hell do. There's a skate compilation of you, and watching it, it's amazing that you're as physically capable as you are currently, because some of those falls would have killed a lesser man. Is there a particular injury on the skateboard that stands out to you? And do you think your familiarity with pain has given you an edge in the ring?
Oh yeah, man, dude. I'm serious when I say this. Skateboarding helped me out more than anything before wrestling. The pain tolerance, the agility, because you got to learn how to fall like really quick on a skateboard if you're gonna keep falling on concrete. But I'd say the number one skate slam was right in front of the Space Needle. There's that lightning bolt looking sculpture thing, and I dropped it on that, and that was, I don't know, 15 feet off the ground, straight to my back. And
is that the black thing, like the black ramp?
Yep.
Oh my
that's
God,
it.
dude.
Yeah. That was it. And I remember that day I was just coughing up blood afterwards, and be like, oh my, like that was when I was like 18 when I did that, and I didn't start wrestling until I was 21. So by the time I went to wrestling school for the first time, my trainer was just trying to be like, oh yeah, professional wrestling will kick your ass, you know, take a bump. And I was like, motherfucker, you haven't seen shit. Like,
to your credit, you bounced up like quickly after that. You just bounced up and walked off. I was like, this guy might just collapse and die right here.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. What the camera didn't catch is I ran 10 feet and collapsed on the ground and started coughing up blood.
So. Oh, shit.
So how do you decide to be a wrestler? You're obviously a terrific skateboarder. You buy into the culture. When does the switch turn on where you're like, let me try wrestling?
Well, I was in love with wrestling my whole life until I was like in high school. And then I kind of fell out of love with it because just it wasn't speaking to me as a human being. Like, there was nothing interesting on it. There was nothing going on. And I was like, I'm just going to skateboard, because that lifestyle was so exciting to me. And so just like, oh my God, you don't have to live by anybody's rules. You do your own shit. And it was so exciting. But I remember I was going to film school down in Arizona, and then I went to this wrestling show, and then it was like complete dog shit. And I thought to myself, I was like, dude, if these fuckers could get paid doing this, there's no reason you know what I mean? So then I was just like, dude, fuck it. I want to do it. There's nothing like it. There's nothing else like it. It's like physical Broadway, you know? And I've always wanted to do it. And I was going to do it when I was 18, when I graduated high school, but I didn't have the balls, because I'd like look online and stuff, and I'd see all the pictures online of the students at the local school, the wrestling school, and they were just like big burly guys in sweaters. And I was like, dude, they're gonna like look at me like, who the hell is this little piece of shit? So I put it on the back burner, and that's like the number one thing I would tell people is just don't ever put anything on the back burner. So now I'm just living like way 100 miles per hour with my ideas. So it was cool.
You're a guy who's obviously untraditional in the world of wrestling, because you bring an entirely different background than being just like grandfathered into it or whatnot. Add in the fact that you're a young guy with the belt. Do other wrestlers view you with a more skeptical eye because you're an anomaly who like kind of flies in the face of tradition?
I don't know, man, and I don't care. Like they don't, dude. I don't know, man. Like I really don't give. I can't connect with wrestlers. Like a lot of times, I have nothing in common with them. And it's not a bad thing. It's just because at the end of the day, I treat this like when I was working at like Ross or something, or whatever shit job I had. I went seek approval from my coworkers at Ross, and I went, when my shift is over, I wouldn't hang out with them either. So like, this is it. Like I'm here, man, to do my best and kick ass and change the world of wrestling the way I see it needs to be changed, and just keep going, man. I don't I don't talk to
so how did you like kind of cultivate your love for wrestling if you don't really connect with any of the traditional wrestlers? You know what I'm saying?
I would say it was just the aspect of physical Broadway. Like there's something about it, man, where I'd fall on a skateboard and there'd be like two people around, and it'd be like, oh shit, you okay, man? When you do fall in wrestling, because there was like thousands of people be like, oh yeah. So like there's nothing that, and I'm such a storyteller, like hence like going to film school and stuff like that. And there's nothing like it, man. Like that's why like my promos are the way they are. You know, like in-ring stuff is just me wanting to do stunts. Like I said, even without wrestling, I'd probably be jumping off this roof right now. So
what's it like behind the scenes, Darby? And what I mean by that is obviously there's a million wrestlers in a million leagues all vying to be kind of the face. You know, everybody wants to be a Hulk Hogan or a Stone Cold or a Rock. And obviously leadership, as you're going through that process, will identify and say, all right, this dude is a guy we can essentially make the face of our organization. You're being made the face of AEW at this point. What are those conversations like behind the scene? How do they communicate to you that, hey, we want you to be the guy?
I feel like because they know if you give me the ball, I'm going to run with it. When AEW is built on creative freedom and having your say in what you do, I don't think out of the younger guys, I don't think anybody is taken it as far as I have within the last year. And then to show people like, yo, this guy did this his way, I think it speaks volumes to the fans about the promotion. Being like, damn, we may have not have seen Darby if it wasn't for an AEW, like on the scale, like, because no one's going to let him do him like AEW does. Like, you know, who's going to let me skate with Tony Hawk on a promo? Who's going to let me jump off an 80-foot bridge? Who's going to let me hit my friend with a car? Like, you know what I mean, though? But, like, the thing is, it's just people are seeing my body of work 100% me and unchanged, unfiltered. It's, yeah.
Do they essentially pull you aside? Is someone putting their arm around you and like, Darby, we're making you the face of this organization. Get ready.
No, I just know that me and Tony Khan, like when we have talks and stuff like that, he just knows in my eyes how much I'm hustling and how much I care. So it's kind of a thing where he's like, this guy is willing to do anything for this brand. And, you know, but there's not like a specific, like, hey man, like come here. Like, you know, when like someone's like badass, and you don't have to go up to each other and say you're like they're badass. You just know. It's pretty much that. It's like, hey man, let's do this. Like, so there's not sit down talk.
So you don't like seek out, mentorship or anything like that, because you can't mentor you because you're so different from what is currently on the card in wrestling.
I seek out mentorship in certain aspects, just like in ring stuff, here and there. I'll definitely do that, because who wouldn't take advantage of all the legends that we're working with in the back end of AEW, you know what I mean? Like the agents, the in-ring workers, like you'd be a fool not to, you know what I mean? But like the thing is, I'm really trying not to like watch any wrestling ever, because I don't want to be inspired by something, you know what I mean? So I like to kind of have my own ideas. Like I'll get more hyped watching like the new freaking Death Wish skate video than I am watching a 5-star match. It's just it makes me bring something different to wrestling. I don't know. I just get like, oh yeah, I gotta create something crazy like in wrestling. So,
was there any wrestler growing up that you just geeked out over? Like we just had Ines Cantor on the show, who's the center for the Portland Trailblazers, and he was obsessed with the Undertaker growing up, and still is. And met him, and he was fucking going nuts. Was there a guy that was your dude growing up?
Not really. Like I was a big fan of people's work, like the Mick Foley's, the Jeff Hardy's, the Rey Mysterios. It goes on, but like I was a fan of their work, but outside of the ring, like I don't know. They spoke to me as a human being, especially like a Mick Foley going in there and just giving 110%. But yeah, I'd have to say that pretty much.
It's interesting you mentioned Mick, because you look at someone like you versus Mick. Like Mick was kind of like a pudgy, a little bit overweight, obviously a super athlete. But you look at a guy like you, and you're an insane athlete. And you look at today's wrestlers, and the physiques are different. The physical training is different. It kind of blows my mind to see where wrestling is now.
Yeah, I feel like the fans and people in general, man, there's only so much bullshit, meathead, steroid fuckers you can see wrestle, where you're like, dude, like this is so lame, man. It starts reminding you of all these jerk offs that you'd go to like school with or something. So people see like someone different, just a creative person, you know what I mean? That's just like creating some beautiful art in that ring, and I feel like that speaks more than just some meathead guy. So.
Yeah, I think that controlled chaos has been kind of like an engine behind your popularity. Now that you're champ, you've made it pretty much to the top of the mountain. Are you considering taking a more conservative approach, or do you view that as like your calling card?
It's my calling card.
Obviously, a big part of this, Darby, is brand building. I mean, you obviously are a guy who kind of says, I am who I am. This is it. Enjoy. But at the end of the day, you're still a business. You're a corporation, whether you like it or not. How much thought goes into building your brand for the future, whether it's TV, movies? Do you kind of have aspirations to be a John Cena or a Rock and transition into other aspects of a career?
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, like film school, man, like I wrote some scripts. There's gonna be full length movies I'm directing. I want to get into documentaries. I want to do it all. Like there's not a glass ceiling with what I want to do. I want to do it all. Like I'm very serious about the Darby Allin brand and what I want to do with it. It's not just, every day I'm thinking of stuff. My mind never stops racing.
With the scripts that you wrote, are they wrestling tangentially related, or are they just completely?
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. It's just like dark comedy stuff. Just like, I wrote it like 5 years ago, and now I'm starting to have the money for it to actually put it into production.
I'm getting the feeling that one of the greatest wrestlers alive actually hates wrestling. I think that's halfway through this interview. That's kind of the impression I'm getting.
Oh man, I just think when young kids ask me like, what's the one thing that you would say to people who are inspiring to be a wrestler, I'd say bring your passions that are outside of wrestling into wrestling, and just don't recycle a bunch of things over and over and over. Give them something they haven't seen before. And I don't know, man. It's just there's a lot of the young wrestlers that, not even in AEW, just on the indies in general, that they just live in a bubble. all they know is wrestling. Like, they grew up watching wrestling. They turn 18, they start wrestling. There's nothing wrong with that. But it becomes annoying when they don't know that there's like an outside world. And then there's a whole beautiful world out there, and all they know is wrestling. And it's just like, dude, come on, man. Like, there's so much cool shit going on out there. Just open your mind.
You guys just had Shaq on the show. You've obviously done stuff with Tony Hawk and Steve-O. Who's kind of on that bucket list right now? Who else do you want to have on AEW to do some stuff with?
When the time's right, I would like to have, like, say, like a Bam Margera or something like that. Someone like that would be interesting and pretty cool. Like, I was just at his house just this past week. I went to his house and stayed there for like about 4 days, just me and my crew and stuff like that, and just skated, and it was just fun.
How is Bam doing? I've known Bam a long time. I'm from Philly originally, so I've known Bam and that whole group for a long time. How's he doing now?
He wasn't home. Yeah, he was off doing an adventure. He just let me have the keys to the castle. So,
you got to
What
love
kind of
how
guy is he?
Yeah, I want to know how Bam is behind the scenes.
oh yeah, no, he's a sweetheart, man. He's like super. He just wants people to have fun. That's all it is. He's a good dude. He just like wants to have everyone have fun and get the most out of life. It reminds me of myself when I'm like, dude, if I feel like you're a couch potato or something like that, I don't want to be around you. I can't hang with you, man. I'm very picky on who I spend my personal time with, because my whole life in high school, I would settle for like just these less people that are just lame as hell. So now that I was like, I don't have the time to waste with a lot of people, man. So I'm very picky on who I hang out with. But I just want everyone to have fun and live. That's all it is. I want people to have fun and live. So, get them out of their comfort zones. That's all it's ever been, man.
Well, when we had Booker T on the show, he talked about all of his unique adventures with Ric Flair. And obviously Rick was one of the great ladies' men of our time. When you're at the top of the game, the women are coming from everywhere. What's it like when they're kind of just, you turn around and people are like, just like, hey, here's my number, here's whatever. What's it like?
I don't pay any attention to that. I'm I'm a solitary man. I've never had a one night stand. I never will. I really, I don't know, man. I don't like humans enough to even give them my time. You know what I mean? Just like, whatever, man. Like, I literally just don't pay attention to any of that, because it's more drama than it is good with anything now. You get some crazy ass fans that are, wanting to hook up, and then if you stop giving them the time of day, they're just going to go off and go crazy and stuff like that. And, it's a different ball game. I don't think things like Motley Crue could have been around in 2020, like with the groupies and stuff like that.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, they would have. Someone would have said something.
Is it scary? I mean, now people have got to be coming out from every corner of the planet now that people know who you are and you're seeing the success. How do you handle managing those expectations and keeping the bad people out of your life?
Just tell them fuck off. That's all it is. This is like, I'm not. Yeah, like, I don't know, man. Like, there's some people from my high school like, oh, you're doing good, man. I'm like, fuck off. You didn't compete in the shit fight. You're not my friend. Yeah.
Speaking of the shit fight, I want to talk about some of your other stunts. Pouring rotten milk on your brother, bathing in hot dogs, heating up shrimp with the bathroom hand dryers. I know there's some footage that MTV wouldn't even accept. Can you let us in on some of the craziest experiences of Darby Allin?
Oh man, there's so much. It's not even funny, man. And I don't even know. Like, are you thinking of crazy or like just disgusting?
I'll let you be the judge on that one.
Just like a fun example of just like a nice innocent prank. How about that? I'll do a nice innocent prank. So we would do it where, like, my friend, he looks like a tweaker. So we'd have him go to the gas station and sit there, and then I'll pick up someone from the airport who doesn't know that friend. So we'd pick him up, and then I'd stop at that gas station. My friend will walk up to the car and act like a hitchhiker. And I'm like, shit, man, is it okay if we give this guy a ride? And the person I just picked up at the airport would be like, absolutely. So he'd be in the back, and then we'd be driving. And then the guy, that fake hitchhiker, would start asking all these random questions. And halfway through the drive, he'd pull out a switchblade, and he's behind us. So he'd pull out a switchblade and hold it up to the back seat of the car. so this person thinks he's gonna get murdered and stuff like that.
That's your innocent story? Holy shit! I want to hear the ones that are more risque, dude. Put you in handcuffs.
Yeah, that was a crazy one for sure. I really like that one. Was funny.
I got to understand this one night stand thing, by the way. Why the no one night stand rule? What is it about one night stands?
I don't know, man. I just don't trust people, man. I don't. People are like, I don't want to like lay down with some fake ass person and have drama. Like, you know, like a lot of times I see it with like my friends or something like that. If he had a one night stand with some girl and then the next day or like the next month he sees her and he's just like hiding and stuff. I'm like, dude, like this is so like lame, so childish. Like I don't know, man. It takes a lot for me to like open up to people, and I wouldn't want to have to be dodging people every day and stuff like that. And I just don't get fulfillment. Stuff with like that doesn't give me any fulfillment in life. Jumping out of a plane or running my friend over in a car gives me fulfillment. I've never really like seeked that for being like, oh yeah, this, I've really got to be in love with the person to do something. You know what I mean? So like,
next time I'm horny, I'm just gonna hit someone with my car, see what it makes me feel.
yeah, give it a try, dude.
Yeah, I will do.
So what we've learned today is Darby Allin is more Shakespeare than he is Tommy Lee.
Yeah, but just crazy with all my stuff. Like I said, there's stories, man, that I can go on for days about. That's just crazy. That we even did at BAM's this week, for example. We did some really crazy stuff. It's just fun, just pranks. It's just a good time.
What's the guy code with that when you're, let's call it at BAM's house and you're doing all that crazy shit? Is there a guy code like, hey, we can't tweet about this, we can't talk about it? Like, what's it kind of like there?
We could talk about it, but tweeting, I don't know, man. Like, it's up to the person if they want. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. It's pretty much, it's like, I guess it's an open playing field. Like, for example, I was at Buffalo Wild Wings, and then the size of this candle right here. So I filled that up with the hottest sauce they had at Buffalo Wild Wings, and then I drank it in under a minute, and then I like collapsed on the floor, and I was about to call the ambulance because I couldn't breathe. And then I was like putting my head under the sink for like 2 hours. I was in that bathroom for 2 hours, my head under the sink, just like getting sick. But the bet was if I did that, my friend would have to take the hottest wing and wipe his ass with it. And then he ended up doing that, and then he was like losing it. He's like, that was funny because we did that in Philly where I drank the hot sauce. But I was in so much pain, I told him, I don't want to see you in pain tonight. I'll have you do it another time. Fast forward, we go to my parents' house in Seattle with the guy. And then I was like, yo, Dad, you got to come to the backyard and watch this. So my dad's watching it. And the dude's just running around my backyard naked, just like his ass is on fire and stuff like that. And it was just funny, But like my mom's just like on the computer, like typing up her documents and stuff. And there's just a naked fat guy running around the backyard and stuff. Stuff like that. It's just fun.
I got to ask, how did that feel for you on the way out after you chugged that?
It wasn't that bad, surprisingly. I think what happened is I threw it all up. Throwing it up was like it would burn, but because it'd go everywhere. But like I threw it all up because it was messing with my stomach so much. It was probably the scariest feeling I've ever had. It was like one of those things where it wasn't like like stomach pains. It was like, dude, I think I'm dying here. It was insane, and like it takes for a lot for me to say that, but it was insane. Yeah, it was really gnarly for sure. It was spooky.
So what do you think about when you see the celebrities go on Hot Ones and you've got some of the biggest guys on the planet just falling apart right on that show? What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are I need to be on Hot Ones.
Yeah, you do.
I don't know how you get a hold of them. I've asked AEW, like, yo, get me on Hot Ones, because those people are going to see stuff they've never seen before. I'd pepper spray myself and do it all. It'd be fun.
I got to ask, because this is just pretty much out of curiosity. What kind of car, when you were living in your car, what kind of car was it?
It was a Toyota Camry. It's actually back there right now, and it's all broken. The windows are all out by my barn right there. But, yeah.
So that's a small one. What would you do? Just put the driver's seat back to sleep, or how would you?
No, I'd probably lay in the back seat with my legs curled up and stuff like that.
Damn.
So
I was hoping it was like a Sequoia or something, a little more roomy, but
No.
How weird is it to look to your right now and think, I was sleeping in that car not too long ago, and now I'm the champion in a wrestling organization on a major network?
Yeah, it's insane. But like I tell everybody, man, you gotta put 100% in this. You can't like waste time. Like there's a lot of people that just slack and they're lazy with things, and then they gotta look at themselves 15 years later in the mirror and be like, shit, man, I wonder if I tried hard. Like I put everything into this in like such short time because I've been wrestling now for like 5.5 years. I put everything into this in such short. There was no comfort zones, man. You gotta, yeah. You can't have a comfort zone. I lived in Seattle like my whole life, and I moved to Florida. Then I moved to Atlanta, and now you know what I mean. So you got to be willing to just drop everything, go. That's why I was like, even now with like now that I got my house and I'm buying it, I'm trying to get over the thing of having like materialistic things in the house because I'm so used to be like, oh, gotta go. So now there's like a ring downstairs, a ramp down there, some dog right here.
Oh,
Like there's a bunch of stuff. So what's up, Lemon?
what's his name?
Lemons.
Lemons. Oh,
She's a good girl. She's $5,000 for that plug. It's psycho.
that's where you're spending your money. That's the all elite money going right there to Lemons.
No, this was before I was in AEW.
Oh, damn.
It was weird. I don't know why. I had no money, and I was like, yeah, I can finance that dog. And then like, I don't know, dude. She's worth it though.
You did ridiculousness, and one of the dudes I think is honestly one of the smartest guys on the planet is Rob Dyrdek. Like, did you get to actually A, meet him, and B, what do you take away from that guy? Because he is a business machine.
No, yeah, I haven't met him. I've never met him, but I listen to his podcast. There's so much that he does talking about business. And I liked listening to his side of business because I feel like he is in like the realm that I'm in. He's another guy like the Jackass Crew, where you can make a living off of being crazy and you don't have to be like the suit and tie type guy. You could do crazy stuff but make a living and hustle and be an entrepreneur. And that's like my whole thing, man. So I find those guys very inspiring. Dyrdek is seriously like one of the most inspiring dudes, just from his aspect of when he's designing skate shoes. He actually like draws them out, and he's not like the type of guy. He has like say in every step of the way, and that's really inspiring to see somebody, because you're so used to like when someone gets so big, you're so used to them just like walking by and they'll look at a shoe and be like, yeah, it's good, whatever, dude, just put my name on it and give me the millions. But to actually like design the thing every step of the way, that's really inspiring to like care that much about your product. So
on Dynamite in July, I remember you got just bamboozled from behind by Ricky Starks and your neck just ragdolled. That looked like an aggressively botched move. I still don't know how you finished the fight. How do you remember that moment?
it was insane. It was it's such, I don't know, man, it happened so quick that you're like, damn, man, like, whoa. But you know, shit happens. You know, like, but I'm cool. Like, it's funny because then like 2 weeks later, I'm like, dude, you're taking a thumbtack skateboard to the back. No ifs, ands, or buts, because you about broke my neck. So consider that revenge.
Dude, I love your tats. What are some of the next tats you're thinking about, and where are you getting them?
I don't know, man. I was thinking about doing more of my body on this side where I have my hand painted and like a collage, like leading up to like my face of like vines and stuff like that. Because I only got like one little face tattoo right here that you really can't see because I have my face painted on that side. But I just want some more just things that fit my vibe on TV as much as it does in real life, like the skeleton hands. It's just for me personally, like whenever I see like a wrestler or anybody that has like something that let's say wrestler, that doesn't have, they have a big tattoo on their arm that doesn't fit their vibe, like their wrestling vibe at all. It just kind of throws you off. You're like, whoa, man, like it's meant to. Yeah, I just don't want to like make it confusing, my body of work. I just want it to be like all one vibe. So.
You got to go opposite Sting. You actually remind me a lot of Sting, funny enough. I'm 42, so I remember young Sting and the evolution of that character. What's it like when you're kind of face-to-face with an iconic wrestler like that, or Jericho, who's been around forever and maybe the best promo guy in the business? What's it like being around those guys?
It's insane. It's really something that I don't take for granted. When you start believing people growing up that you should expect the bare minimum in life. You should be happy for whatever's given to you. And you just go through life being like, oh yeah, I'm just happy to be here. And then right when I started wrestling, I made a commitment to myself that I wasn't going to be happy to be there. I was, dude, I want to be at the top. And I didn't care what anybody said. So being in the ring with a Jericho or being in the ring with Sting, standing face to face, it's like, dude, this is everything I've ever talked to myself about, everything I've manifested about, everything I've, dreamed about. It's just like, it's like, dude, like this is the top. This is like the top. And it's good. It's insane.
Do they put their arm around you, Darby, because they know you're pretty much the face of the organization? They're now kind of leading at this moment, but they know you're the future. Do they put their arm around you and really help guide you on how to build yourself as a professional?
I've had talks with Jericho, and I've had talks with Sting, and I've had talks with Jake the Snake. I like picking everybody's brain with things. They know that I'm really serious, and they don't have to like tell me how to be a businessman or look out for my brand, because they know that like my mind's spinning 24/7 on my brand. So it's just good to learn from anybody, you know what I mean, from all aspects of the game, of life. In ring stuff, I really like picking their brains about in ring stuff, like when or when not to do things. It's fun.
You've come a long way from the car, and now I have to imagine that you're pretty well off financially. Is there a particular big purchase you made when you first, got that big paycheck?
No, man, I really like saving my money. I'm really into saving money. All I'm going to do when I finish buying the house in December is I'm going to build a huge ass skate ramp. So here's the balcony, and down there is like where I ride my 4-wheeler. I want to roll in right here into a big old ramp right there. So I don't know how much that's going to cost, but that's going to be a big purchase for me. Like I want just as much stuff skateboarding that fulfills me, where I don't feel like I have to leave this house to have fun. That's the whole thing with this house is like I said, I got a ring downstairs and I got all this stuff that I don't want to have to like leave this house to have fun. I want this to be my like Pastrana land, or Castle Bam, or however, what I mean. I just pretty much buy trips and stuff for me and my friends to go on crazy trips, and that's not even that expensive.
Do you have a relationship with those guys? Like, do you know Travis? Do you know some of the bigger skateboarding names?
I know Travis. He gives me the keys to his domain and stuff like that. We were just there because him and Bam only live like 2 hours from each other. So when I hit him up, he's like, here's all the codes and the keys and stuff like that. Have fun, because he's off in Florida or something like that. So it was it's awesome, man. It's awesome because like I said, those guys like speak to me so much. Travis especially, because he's like, dude, he's almost been and done it all, but he keeps reinventing himself. Mm-hmm. He keeps doing everything, and that's like it speaks to me so much as a human being, because like I said earlier, there's not a lot of wrestlers that constantly are like, when they're done working, they're constantly like insane doing a bunch of things. So to me, I'm like, dude, like, I gotta hang out with Travis Pastrana more and go off some huge ass jumps.
You played football growing up, right?
Yeah, I played football until like I think it was like 8th grade. Yeah, 8th grade. Then I just quit because I was over it. I was over like just I wanted to be my own. That's why I picked start skateboarding all the time only, because I don't have a coach. It's just me and the board, man.
What do you kind of see for the next couple of years for yourself? Like if you were to map it out and you said this is what is going to happen for Darby Allin over the next couple of years, what's that map look like?
Start doing crazy stuff in like commercials, Hollywood, but just being myself 100% through the way. Just anything, man. Like being Jackass 4.
Do you already have people calling? Like, do you have agents approaching people in Hollywood who are like, we found you, Darby, we watched AEW, and let's take a meeting?
No, not to that degree yet. And I wonder if, like COVID had a big thing to play out with that, like right when I was really starting to like get my stride and stuff like that. But I do have like business managers and stuff like that like sets up Comic-Con deals, but nothing like straight up commercials. But I would love to do it because like my wrestling or my promos that I do for wrestling, I'm willing to go places no one's willing to go. Like for a commercial, if I was in a commercial for something, like, you best believe you're going to run somebody over with the car. So.
I want to talk to you about your social media because Matt obviously referenced at the top of this chat, you're unbelievable on social media. How important is it and how thought through is it when you are creating these videos of what you're going to post and the type of reaction you're trying to get?
Yeah, to be honest, there's not a lot of thought that goes into it. Like my friend will just, I don't know if you saw the recent one where my friend fell from the rafters on the skateboard and he fell like, I don't know, 12, 13, 14 feet or something, like straight to his shoulder. Like that happened that was at Bam's place, like in his barn. And then right away I was like, oh yeah, I just posted it. Like I'm very spontaneous. People are like, you got to have like a schedule. Like if I do a photo shoot, I'll post like all the photos in one day. Like you got to release it weekly. I'm just like, I don't know, it's like ADD of the photos. Like, bah, 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 bah. Like, I don't care, man. Life's too short. I'll have new content next week. Sure, I'm not going to wait.
It's hilarious.
What's been the craziest city so far? What have been, obviously the travel schedule is crazy for you guys. What's been kind of the cool experiences so far?
I really like, I don't know, when we were down in like the Tennessee area or something like that. I know I only live like 3 hours from it, but the thing is just Nashville and hanging out around there and just checking things out. Because we didn't really get to go to Arizona, California, Seattle. We didn't get to go to those places yet because we're just more on the East Coast. So like this traveling, it was really mellow because like I live kind of out here. But I don't know, man, it was fun. It's just fun going. Even in Jacksonville, like Kona Skate Park, the world's oldest skate park, is in Jacksonville, right? Like 10 minutes from where we film. So I'm always going there because it's fun, man. And when I go to a town, I just don't go to the town to wrestle and leave. I really like to try to explore and take my board out and just really see what the city's got to offer.
You mentioned Jake the Snake, and a lot of people who are not true wrestling fans realize what that dude's been through. I mean, he's an icon, but he's had a tough life. Do guys like him tell you about the shit that they've had to deal with and the tragedies they've gone through?
See, when I talk to Jake, I know the tragedies. I think everybody knows the tragedies. I like to just talk to him about fun, just crazy stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I just like, dude, yeah, because he's a wild man. So I just like to be like, yo, this is what I did this weekend. And we talk about promos, and I show him my promos before the air and just pick his brain on it and stuff like that. It's just nice, man.
How much work goes into the promos? I've always been curious. Are you somewhere in your house looking in the mirror, just practicing? What's the process for creating a promo?
Just me and my buddy Max Yoder. He films for like Thrasher magazine and stuff like that. It's just a two-man squad. I just use him, and we just create stuff. There's not a lot of preparation that goes into like from the aspect of like looking at myself and thinking of stuff. An idea will come to me and we'll just be like, yo, we got to do this. So no matter what it is, man, yeah, there's not a lot of preparation that goes into things because we just kind of like think of an idea and the next day we're filming it.
Do you know when it's hit? Like when the promo hits and the crowd gets it and erupts, what's that feeling like?
It's good, man. It's a gamble sometimes because, like I said, if a lot of people are so used to like wrestling stuff, that I wonder if some of this stuff goes over some of the heads. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, that was really confusing, or that was really weird. But when it hits, man, it's good because that's like my passion is filmmaking so much that when it hits, man, like there's nothing better than to be like, because I feel like those promos are just as important, if not more important, than the in-ring stuff. Character stuff is, you know what I mean? Because you could do a bunch of moves and stuff, but if you don't have a backbone to like why you're doing it or your character or rhyme or reason, why would anybody care? So.
Are you an NBA fan by any chance? Do you like basketball?
No. Like I said, I respect him. I just don't know anything about it. I have no idea.
I was going to ask, James Harden, who's one of the most popular NBA players on the planet, he literally, they're in preseason right now. Meanwhile, he's been at a strip club, like while everybody's in training camp. And I was thinking, what would it take to get Darby Allin to miss some type of event? What is that one thing that your strip club would be?
Dude, I would say like the one event would be Jackass 4. Like, I know it sounds like, but like, I'm serious. Like I've talked to people, and I'm like, yo, if this happens, I have to have time off, because this is not only is this going to help the brand of AEW and like pop culture and stuff like that, it's just going to help my mind, because I feel like that's like a bucket list thing for sure.
Are those guys open to it? Have you talked to them, and are they like, Darby, we're good? Come on.
I've talked to Steve-O about it, and I've talked to them about it and stuff like that. But everything's so like crazy with COVID right now that you can't really, they can't even start filming right now. They were like a week or two into their filming when it got shut down, and now they've just been holding off. And yeah, man, that would probably be my thing. Like anything with stunts, you know, any skateboard event, like I would definitely, you know.
Cool.
All right. That was AEW TNT Champion and Jackass 4 actor Darby Allin. Thanks for joining the podcast, man, dude.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
I'm literally, before we let you go, Darby, thinking about who I know over at the Hot Ones production that I can email that little clip of you trying to get on there.
It's not even like just hot, it's anything. Like if you know any crazy thing, man, because like when I do interviews, I want to go crazy. I don't want to just like, yeah, man, like I don't know, I want to do crazy stuff. Like I want to do it all.
If we get you on Hot Ones, you have to invite us to your place.
Yeah, man, I'll torch you though when you're here.
I'm down for it, dude. Hit me
Yeah,
with
man, I'm not
car.
sure I want that. I want something different. I don't want to go to his place and break a leg or a hip. I'm 42. My pelvis will get crushed.
You guys will have a camp out in the ring downstairs with no blankets.
I'm fucking down. I need some excitement in my life, man.
Darby, you're the man, dude. Congrats on all the early success in your career. You definitely got a cool thing going on. You're counterculture, and I love it. And I can imagine all the kids out there who are straight edge and skateboarders are looking at you, and you're breaking molds for them. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, thanks you, man. Thanks for having me on.